and welcome to Sports by Compian. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, and I'm joined here by my special guest, fucking George McHattie, forward selector of the Rockford Ravens himself, in the house, sir. How are you?
Good. Just you fucking thing. Trying to mentally recoup from what was a good season. Still
Absolutely.
could be a good season.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm glad you're on here so we can get a good discussion on it. But yeah, I do appreciate you joining the show. As I mentioned, George McHattie has been the forward selector for the entire year for the Rockford Ravens, and overall, it's been a good year. But
Yeah,
as you
you're not.
people are seeing on your screen right now, if you're watching the podcast, you'll see the first score and the one that matters, of course, the most to this pod. Northwest Indiana, Northwest Woodsmen go ahead and get a win against the Rockford Ravens. This was a win on the road for the Woodsmen, which means the Rockford Ravens have fallen at home for the first time this year, George.
Yeah, that
Um,
fortress didn't turn into a fortress, did it? Really?
I would argue it still was a fortress. I mean, we gave up 13 points. In most games, that should be enough to win.
We'll just look at the scores of the other games.
Exactly. So, and what's funny is we scored two tries. So, although they were on corners, if we somehow find a way to convert those kicks, it's a different game there as well.
It is. It is. It's a huge game. Well,
But overall, George, you got to score more than two tries if you want to win games. And one thing I'll say about this is the Ravens were just a little. The injuries, I think, finally caught up to us because you need elite players in tight games like this where the opposition is just not missing many tackles and everything counts. And they were going after every single counter ruck. And they weren't, like I said, their 10 was good, their 12 and 13 were good. They knew what they were doing. This is an experienced team. So when you're playing someone like that, you need your elite players. You need all hands on deck. And not to make excuses, we had 23 players to pick from. So that's some of the best numbers the Ravens have had, and that's with almost 11 players, if not more, injured. So
yeah. Yeah, you
it's
could
been
almost make
a,
a squad, couldn't you?
I mean, you really could. It's been a heck of a year for the Rockford Ravens overall. Gotta look at the positives, but god damn does it hurt to end this way, and it sure hurts to end with almost six continuous penalties in a row for them to line up a kick and end our season.
The thing with the Woodsman is that is like we call Lake County rivalry week,
Mm-hmm.
but the Woodsman are the rivalry week, and
We have two rivals, George. We're good enough to have two.
yeah, and they're anybody that's played in a Woodsman versus Ravens game before knows that there is history between the Woodsman and Ravens. And we had no players that have ever played in the Woodsman Ravens game. And when you're playing your rivals, you put an extra
Mm-hmm.
5-10% into the game.
For sure.
That that's what the Woodsmen were, very veteran side, very old boy dominant.
Mm-hmm.
No new in there, I feel.
Well, they had some new guys, but like they were shored up with a very solid veteran squad. And like these guys were kind of older, but like still good enough and not old enough, young enough where like not old enough where they were slow, but old enough to be experienced enough and to really run with their shoulders down and ready to plow some people over, which is what
It,
happened on one of their tries, which I do regret not hauling my ass a little sooner. Their only try of the day came right through the heart of our defense off of a scrum, and I think a lot of players on our team want that play back. But George, you don't get those back.
no, but scrums, like our set piece has been pretty fucking dismal all year,
The wideouts
and
have scrums. We've been okay.
scrums we've been dominant, but we haven't used them for what they are. When you're getting go forward ball in scrums, you don't get that ball out until that scrum stops. So if you're driving them back for 5 meters, that ball doesn't come out of that scrum, doesn't leave the number eight's feet until it has stopped and dissolved or dissolved. And we need to learn how to be a lot more dominant in learning scrums, because what makes all of the defense have to walk back 10 meters or 5 meters. So the whole D line has to march back because otherwise they'll be offsides.
Yeah.
And the same goes with lineouts and mauls. You know, if we could get a good line out, which I thought we would be better with Max, but, you know, what were we expecting the poor guy to do in 80 minutes when he hasn't played rugby in probably 2 years, you know?
I honestly was not expecting that much from Max. I was okay with his output. I think he played fine. You know, it was learning about grown man strength, dude. It's a wall you hit, and the Woodsmen are one of the best teams we're gonna face. I think maybe the best we faced, honestly. Like even that Lake County game, maybe. But like the Riot, I feel like if we got our horses, that's a different game. Granted, they're still very good. Not gonna take anything away from them. Obviously, they beat us and they beat us well. But I would like to have my guys with me before I chalk it up. You know. Whereas the Woodsmen in Lake County, like we had some guys and it was still close. But yeah,
Yeah,
solid game out of the Woodsmen. Not taking anything away from them. Credit to their captain John, ice in his veins as he puts 2 kicks through to take the lead and ultimately win this game.
yeah, it's a bummer, isn't it? It's not a good way of winning the game.
It sucks,
But
dude. It is what it is, man. You know, a lot of complaints about the refs from my perspective. I never want to put it in the refs / judges' hands. So I'm not gonna blame the refs for this one.
I thought that I don't necessarily like to complain about the refs, but there was some shit that I just didn't understand. You know, they weren't rolling out of the tackle at all, at all. And I'm not saying she had favoritism because I don't think she did, but I don't think she saw it. We play a very clean game. We don't know how to get dirty. We don't know how to. We don't know the dark arts. And older, more experienced teams know the dark arts of, all right, if they're getting quick ball and they're getting quick phases, lay on the ball for an extra second, 2 seconds. That'll stop Frank from getting that ball out quicker.
And we did have some slow balls out at some points there. So yeah, that's a
and
good point.
and coach killing passes as well. These offloads in the fucking tackle. You know, everybody thinks they're fucking Superman. I swear to God.
Well, to be fair, we were practicing the hell out of it throughout most of the season. Coach was like, "We really need to start doing this." So everyone starts to try to do it, and then yeah, you're gonna run into those problems. Overall, ball retention and possession retention was a huge problem and has been a problem for the Ravens for many years now. Because, yeah, we do get a little bit of that hero ball where guys are like, I got the ball, I'm scoring. It's like, bro, there's 4 dudes around you. I don't think you're going to score. And then other people watch that guy, like, he's got it. But there's 4 people over there.
Do you think that our tries this season were deserved, or do you think it's just our opponents were just bad at defending? Jonah. I always get them too confused. Jonah, poor at defending Jonah because he was a smaller person. He wouldn't be running so hard. I feel like a lot.
I don't know, man. Jonah, from what I've seen from his rugby career, he's a hard person to tackle. We've seen him play. We've seen him play rugby for a year now, and during the summer, during the spring, during the fall, people struggle to tackle the guy. People struggle to tackle Caleb. People struggle to tackle Skip. People struggle to tackle Sydney. People struggle to tackle you. We got some people who can carry the ball on this team. So I don't know. It's an interesting debate to say that they're bad at defending, and that's why we score. I'm sure different tries have different meanings, and maybe like some were like, yeah, that was just some terrible defense. But overall, I'd say we're earning our tries for sure.
What I'm trying to say is it wasn't. They were snapshot tries, not siege warfare where we're doing
a lot of phases. We did have very few that were like tons of phases. You're not wrong. And I think that did catch up to us where we had to do like siege warfare in this last week, and we just didn't really have it in our offense. I do remember thinking a couple times like, holy shit, we still got the ball. We're still doing this. When are we going to break through?
And we need to have a backup strategy when it doesn't work,
yeah.
But then we're going into higher level rugby. What kind of rugby do we actually want to play?
Yeah. And these are all things to be debated for, but one thing that we want to institute, I think, coming into this year was better defense. Last year we had some terrible, terrible defense, and I think it cost us many games, and the opportunity to be in these games was lost because, hey, if you miss tackles, they're just going to run up and down and score on you. So I think we played way, way better defense this year, and it showed in our record.
True. It was. But then again, we're only fucking 2 in, what is it, 3? We've played 5 out of the 6 games. We still have over a 50% win record at the moment.
We do. We gotta see. We gotta see how it turns out with Peoria, but they're likely gonna forfeit, so it might be the end of our rugby for the year.
I may have messaged them today, and I'll tell you what I said. Typical what I would normally say. I said, it's a message to the whole rugby team. I said, hey, I hear through the grapevine you cunts are thinking of cancelling the last game. Done. We owe it to ourselves this game to finish up this season right. Love you, bye. See you on Saturday.
I love that joke.
Now,
nice.
If that was me and somebody threw, and I was reading the social media messages, and I saw that, I would find a team on Saturday to go kick the shit out of whoever sent that. Well, it's basically saying, dude, don't cancel. Fuck you. We're all ruggers here. Like, play the fucking game.
Honestly, even if they forfeit and want to show up with like 11 guys and we can give them players, that'd be cool too.
That'd be dope. But I don't want it to be Friday night. Oh, Peoria cancelled. We win this league 4-2 with a bonus point try. It would just not.
Lame.
Yeah.
Anyway, we gotta move on from the Rockford Ravens and the heartbreak of the Woodsmen. It's all very sad. We gotta chuck it in. We gotta go back to the drawing board. Start thinking about next year. But in the meantime, sorry, what was that?
I said I'm happy to see it go, but I'm also sad to see it go. To be honest.
100%. It's gonna be nice to take a couple weeks off and not think about rugby, and then we'll get back to it.
Yeah. But, you shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. We gotta come back stronger next year. Is all we can do. Anyway, the Riot took care of business against Peoria. I'm not sure where this game was, but honestly, pretty strong performance out of Peoria. 28-41. That's not bad at all. They scored more than we did against the Riot. Gave up slightly less. They arguably had a better performance against them than we did. So, shout out to Peoria on going out a little bit strong here at the end.
Peoria played at,
go ahead.
I believe. Peoria played at home, I believe.
Okay. All right, that makes sense then. Okay, that checks out.
I think they may dissolve this club if they don't. I think they will probably have another year, and if they don't get players, I don't think they'll be in D3 for much longer.
I don't think it's that serious. I think they had a down year, but I don't think it's that serious for them. I think they'll get it together after this year and realize they got to show up to practice, which it sounds like is the main problem.
Yeah.
What is the biggest problem across D3 in general? Except for us, we had a pretty good attendance at practice this year. I'm real proud of the boys. Lake County took care of business against the Blaze, and man, they made them look silly. Like, according to Curtis, the Blaze dropped down many D2 players, and it didn't make a difference. Lake County absolutely handled them. Huge win for them here. They are in the driver's seat to go to the playoffs now. Good for them, man. It's you gotta be happy for your rivals, I guess.
They conceded more tries than we did, and they scored less than we did.
Who did?
That's what drives me insane, because we have the skill. We have the skill, but I don't know.
We gotta wait another year, Georgia. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But hey, great year out of us, And to wrap up CARFU, we'll follow it next week, see what happens. But it's been a hell of a fun time. It's been a good ride.
I have a fantastic feeling that Lake County's going to beat the Riot and then lose to them the week after.
Could be. But they probably won't play them the week after. They're going to play Wisconsin. So
That's true.
Anyway, New Zealand absolutely destroyed Uruguay. This game was somewhat close in the early going, but you know how rugby goes. Once the tide starts to turn, it turns hard. And,
once it rains.
Exactly. And Uruguay just kind of lost it, and they lost their will to tackle, and it started to show up. Unfortunately, the New Zealand just started to plow through them. Much like what happened with France and Italy. Italy's got to go away from this World Cup disappointed and overall how it went. Like maybe you plowed some pretty terrible teams, but goddamn guys, when it came to like France and New Zealand, you looked lost out there.
They will be upset with their score. They'll look at that and go, they knew they were going to lose the game, but they'll look at that and go, 60-7. You know,
And they got rocked by New Zealand like 90 something to 7. Like you're a tier 1 team. You can't be letting New Zealand put 90 something points on you.
correct.
Yeah, so that's embarrassing. Georgia sees out their World Cup performance. Not bad, 1943 against Wales. Wales actually looking pretty good in the in this World Cup series so far, so not surprising to see them put up some points against Georgia. And then Samoa, England. England inks out a victory here. What was the situation over there, George?
England doesn't have a clue. But we're just lucky that England plays in tournaments like the World Cup regularly, just through our standard league, because we have no clue what's going on, but we know how to win games. We're playing. We're just not playing good rugby, and the whole rugby world has moved away from England's style. England's very siege warfare, low scoring game, hit the tackles, forwards are dominant in the scrum and line out. The world has moved on from that.
But if we implement here in CARFU, I bet it'd be really successful.
Oh, mate, you'll be fine if you could do that. If you could keep your forwards from retaining ball or keeping ball possession and keep the opposing forwards from making meters, you would be the most dominant force. You'll probably be a tier 2 / or D2 / D3 team.
I mean, they have our potential for sure.
Easily.
But anyway, so yeah, England at least finds a way to win the game, and that's what matters. Scotland couldn't find a way to get it done against Ireland, and they do make an exit out of this World Cup. Not terrible out of them, though. They put it to the bad teams. They hung in there with some. They kind of got had by New Zealand and Ireland, but against France and Ireland, but those are tough matchups.
Scotland got put in the pool of death, didn't they? They got
sure
put
did.
in. They had Ireland, number 1 in the world. They had South Africa, number 2 in the world. They had fucking Tonga, which is like number 9 in the world. And they had poor old Romania, which is like 15th in the world. That poor.
Romania.
Yeah, they did beat Romania, but every other game in that you had to actually play rugby to win any of those games, and. It's a long tour. World Cup is back to back. I believe it's 8 games back to back, or 7 games back to back.
That is alternate a lot of players.
And it's not like us playing 7 games back to back. It's literally like miniature car crashes every couple of seconds, and. What are you expecting these poor bastards to do?
For real.
It's a small country as well, Scotland.
Yeah, but honestly, they play some fine rugby. If you put them not in that pool of death, if you put them in the England pool, they probably advance over Argentina. I could see that.
I could fucking see them advancing over England, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yes.
Scotland puts that's their World Cup final, beating England. So.
Yeah. Well, moving on, speaking of Argentina, they do find a way to get it done against Japan and make it out of that pool. Japan, not a bad showing this World Cup. They did win some important games. They beat, who did they beat? They beat Samoa. I think they beat Tonga. They couldn't quite get it done against England and Argentina, but strong showing for them overall in this World Cup, don't you think?
Yeah. No, I'm not disappointed in that result at all.
And then Romania finally finds a way to get on the board a little bit, man. It feels like they've been mostly shut out in their games against the really big teams. So at least they've had a semi-competitive game here against Tonga.
Nobody thinks of Romania and thinks rugby. So that's what I got to tell you. Romania's a good rugby nation.
Yeah, fair. And then,
But
whoa,
maybe it'd be good for the twats to go out there. That would probably be a good time.
that would be great. We could probably beat up on some Romanian, you know, mid on the field and some Romanian, like,
Isn't Andrew
different.
Tate in
Never mind,
Romania?
this doesn't work. What?
Isn't Andrew Tate in Romania?
Maybe. Hot topic, not for the spot, but anyway, Romania does fall to Tonga, but not a bad showing for them. Huge win for Portugal. I gotta go back and watch this game.
Oh, it was
24 over
fantastic.
23 of Fiji, huh?
Won in the last 2 seconds.
Wow. Wow. Big win for them.
Fantastic game.
Well, good
Like
for Portugal.
Fiji.
I mean, they knocked the U.S. out of the World Cup, so it's a good thing they showed up there and actually did something. They showed up pretty well in most of their games.
Yeah, I think with Portugal, because they're not professional, they don't have their own proper rugby structure. Now when I say proper rugby structure, America doesn't have proper rugby structure either, because essentially rugby structure works. Your MLS is here, D1, D2, D3, or D4 and D4 down here. All of those teams should funnel like a pyramid into the MLS. So essentially, your Fox Valley, let's say Fox Valley should send the
MLR, sir.
MLR, sorry, not Major League Soccer. MLR Fox Valley should send scouts to Rockford, the Ravens, and try and poach a couple players. So you could go up in the division, go up in the league, and then the Griffins or the Lions should send scouts down to D2 on a regular basis to try and poach players to play in D1, and then MLR should poach players from D1 or all across the board. But it doesn't happen. You never hear of scouts coming across and be like, "Hey, do you want to play at D2 level? You'll be a really good match for D2 level." That's where it's incorrect. Scouts all the time in England, they're everywhere.
There's no.
You should come out for
there's probably no scouts whatsoever at any of the minor levels of rugby here in the U.S.
No. Maybe in some of the. I know Houston has a fantastic feeder system into its rugby divisions, but you never hear of kids rugby out here. But Chicago always has more money than majority of other cities throw at their sports teams. So
shout out to Lake County. They actually put together a clinic for young kid rugby. So they're trying. They're doing something.
Awesome how they did it.
Yeah, well.
But they were really close to Chicago as well. So
they're up in that area. So they have their own little zone they're recruiting from. But yeah.
It's easy
really
to get
into.
into.
It's a good way to get the sport growing,
Yeah, agreed.
Anyway, so this weekend, huge games coming up, George. We got Wales, Argentina. That's going to be a very interesting game.
We'll put money on Wales.
You got money on Wales? That seems like a good bet.
If I was going to bet, I'm not really sure how to bet out here. I would put money on.
I can send you a link to FanDuel. We'll both get $50. And I can send one to any of you guys as well out there. Subscribers to Sports by Compian. That's right. Anyway, go ahead.
Ireland, New Zealand, man.
Ireland, New Zealand is going to be fucking awesome, dude.
That is a World Cup final.
That is a final right now. We got to find a way to watch this game. So if Peoria does cancel, we got to try to watch this game right before Weaver's wedding.
Oh, dude, that's like fucking right at Weaver's wedding as well.
Is that too? Yeah, you're right. We're not going to have time to watch it, but maybe we can we'll watch it on our phones while the ceremony's going on. I mean, no, just kidding, Weaver. We would never do that.
We'll sit next to each other.
There you go. Anyway, England, Fiji. This is going to be really good too. Didn't they already play this year?
Yes. Fiji's going to beat England.
You think so? Wow.
I would put money on it. I would actually put money. England, Fiji. If you watch Fiji, right? These men are built out of fucking brick shithouses. Like there is some hut in fucking Fiji land that produces and kilns these men. They look like they are on every steroid under the sun. But all they've been doing their whole life is climbing trees, getting coconuts, mate. And running up sand dunes and playing rugby in the sea, fighting off fucking tiger sharks. These men are built
Tiger
like
sharks.
fucking gorillas.
Wow.
And they are the best rugby players in the world. That's why New Zealand's so good, is because they have the three best recruitments in the world. Fiji, Tonga, and fucking Samoa live next door to them. And
they just take guys out of all
they if Fiji, and they have figures out how to scrum, figures out how to line out, England is in big trouble, because there's no passion in the England squad. Like Portugal won off passion. They won through telling themselves they're not going to go home without winning the game. England doesn't. Tier 1 nations don't have those passionate drives. They already know they're going to win the game before they walk on the field. And without those passionate drives, you can't turn over teams.
Interesting. That's a great point. I really like that. Yeah, that's Fiji's going to bring it. It's going to be a very interesting game. So that's Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon will be a hell of a game. France, South Africa. Now that one we can try to get all the Ravens together for. I truly enjoy it. We should definitely do that, because it's going to be a hell of a dandy. It's going to be a dandy.
So my money goes to Wales, Fiji. Fuck. I'm going to say New Zealand, but that's a 50-50.
I kind of want to say New Zealand too, man. They've been on fire this World Cup.
So has Ireland.
So has Ireland. And Ireland's been playing harder games. And New Zealand's just been destroying teams that maybe should have given them a chance and just did not.
And I'm going to say France.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dan is taking South Africa, and he's got me thinking, because South Africa is just so physical, and if they can just make it a physical game and don't let the French do that finesse shit, could be a long
Go
day.
back and watch the World Cup opener.
Huh?
Watch the World Cup opener. Watch France versus New Zealand.
Right.
And you tell me who's going to win that South Africa game.
Fair enough.
There's two 50-50s. Well, it's four 50-50s, but Wales is going to beat Argentina, going to put them through to the semis. England should beat Fiji, but so should have Australia. So I would put Fiji through to the semis. It kills me to say it.
I'm going to go with your instinct on that too. I'm going to also take Fiji. And I'll also take France. As much as I would like South Africa to win this, fuck it, I'm taking South Africa. Anyway, that's our predictions here from Sports by Compian about the Rugby World Cup.
It could be a very nice Northern Hemisphere semi-final there.
That'd be fun.
That would be awesome. It's like, fuck you, Southern Hemisphere. Learn how to properly play the sport, basically saying.
That'd be pretty funny. Our Six Nations been taken off. Whatever you guys are doing down there, not good enough. So this week of football kicked off, George, with the Bears finally finding themselves a win. We're surrounded by Chicago fans who are shocked, amazed, and of course happy. No, maybe not shocked. Of course, they believe in their team. I, of course, did not. We picked the Washington Commanders, who got smoked.
I've never even heard of the Washington Commanders before, so they're an irrelevant team.
They're the Redskins. They basically have turned. Now they're the Commanders because the Redskins.
Oh, they're the politically correct Redskins.
Yeah, it was offensive, dude. Come on.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
surprised it took 20 years to change it.
Big upset in London. Jacksonville takes down Buffalo. Big win.
Boundary with this fucking game, right? Why are the English singing the fucking American national anthem whilst they're in fucking England with the Yankee Danky Doo-Doo-Doo flag in the middle of the field? You're in the fucking wrong country, mate. You shouldn't be singing the wrong national anthem. You don't sing the British national anthem after it, so why the fuck do we sing the Yankee Danky Doo-Doo-Doo?
They sung the English national anthem. I'm pretty sure they did.
No, they did? Okay. Did they sing it first or second?
I wasn't watching, but I gotta imagine they sung it. Because they always do in those international games.
Alright, good.
Yeah,
I rescind my statement.
Fair enough. Anyway, Yeah, so Buffalo Falls, a big game for Trevor Lawrence to find the way to win this game. Um, Really not too much else to say about this one, George. We're going to kind of fly through these. The people know what happened. I picked Houston to pull another game off, and they did not against Atlanta, which is a bummer. Both for my
Close game.
picks, as well as for the NFC South picture, which now Atlanta's in a better position for. What were you saying, George?
Close game.
Yeah, very close game. Absolutely. I think CJ Stroud's continuing to do CJ Stroud stuff. Let's see. I think he did all right. Yeah, one touchdown, 250 yards. Not a bad day at all. They need to get the run game going a little bit more. Damian Pierce, 20 carries for 66 yards, just isn't quite going to cut it. That's not what I like to call a successful run game.
That's 3 meters a yard. 3 yard.
Yeah,
Yards.
3 yards a carry, which doesn't work. You need 4 yards a carry to get, that way you can get 10 to get a first down.
Oh,
So
it
anything under 4 is it really good?
is a tough job being a running back.
Sure is, and they replace you very quickly. Speaking of, like, this guy, for example, rookie last year, 1,000 yards, Tyler Algier. This year he's getting more carries than B.J. Robinson, but they're both struggling to kind of... The run, Atlanta just pounds the run until they basically just suffocate the other team and win. So good for them. They're sticking to something that works. Detroit's continuing to handle business, man. Carolina still hasn't found a win. I don't think anyone was expecting them to win this one, and they sure didn't.
So why is Detroit good all of a sudden?
Motor City Dan Campbell. It's the funny thing we're calling his coach, or the media's calling him. But yeah, he's just coming in with a lot of belief. They traded for Jared Goff, who everyone thought Jared Goff was done. He's coming in and been an absolute stud, as you can see here. 236 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's just doing his job, They actually got David Montgomery from the Bears last year, and he's been running really well for them. They got an absolute stud. What's his name? I forgot his name. Amari St. Brown. Very good wide receiver over there. Yeah, they just got some guys. And their first round pick from last year, Aiden Hutchinson's looking good. They got some studs, dude. That's how it goes. You start to pick like early in the draft enough times. Eventually, you're gonna line up some picks.
Indiana Colts. Mm.
Yeah, the Colts find a way to win this. I was surprised by this. I picked the Titans. My picks went terrible. So did my fantasy. It was honestly an absolute mess in both those areas this week. But anyway, yeah, Colts find a way to win this game. We gotta stop underestimating Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson. I guess mostly Gardner Minshew, who does just enough to win. And Zach Moss is really going off this year. Strong carries out of him. You see this? 23 carries, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a day right there, George.
I'll take your word for it.
And that's a hell of a day. Anyway, moving on. Miami absolutely demolished the poor Giants. Giants are still looking for answers. They didn't find them against Miami. New Orleans, I guess the Patriots decided to show up to play football today. Maybe not. Mac Jones' era looks like it's coming to an abrupt and painful end for him.
It's kind of sad. He should have retired sooner in my eyes.
Mac Jones, I feel like Mac Jones is in his rookie year. I think you're thinking of someone else.
Isn't it who's the coach?
Oh, Bill Belichick?
I feel like he needs to retire.
You might be right. Honestly, this season's been must be so frustrating for him. He's not used to being 1-4.
He should have retired after getting rid of Brady.
Maybe.
Retire on the high. Hello, dog. Nobody can fault. God damn it, down you fucker. Nobody can fault a coach retiring when he's high. Well, not retiring, and everybody's going to remember you for those last couple of years.
You might be right. Bill Belichick. Maybe you should take George McHatty's words and strongly consider them, because the Saints just absolutely blew you out. Their offense finally looked good for the first time all year.
Or did the Patriots just look average?
Yeah, the Patriots are a mess, but also the Saints look better for a change.
No, Steelers get a win. Wow.
Steelers get a win, and a lot of people, myself, had picked Baltimore to win this, dude. But Lamar Jackson just has not looked great this year. 1 interception, 206 yards. Still hasn't really done much. Whereas Kenny Pickett did just enough to get the win here. Overall, like a lot of back and forth in that game. Cincinnati, another one we had picked against, also gets a win here. They finally turned it on. Joe Burrow looked really good this game. Josh Dobbs kind of struggled, a couple interceptions.
Joe Burrow is the ex Bears QB, isn't he?
He may have played for the Bears at one point. Josh Dobbs could be.
Um,
I don't think so. I think you're thinking of someone else.
Yeah, I don't know, mate.
That's all right. But anyway, to wrap this up, guys, Philadelphia handled business against Los Angeles, get a tight win there. The Jets come back against Denver and absolutely suck it to them. Chiefs get a last-minute win against Minnesota. And then we got the Monday night game coming up as well, which will be Packers, Las Vegas.
The Vikings actually good, or was Chiefs?
The Vikings are struggling this year, man. They are 1-4. Most of the games have been one-score games, but they are struggling, that's for sure. Whereas the Chiefs on fire, probably one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Denver continues to suck. Philadelphia is still undefeated. Exciting times out here, George. You know what I'm saying?
So have the Chiefs lost yet?
Chiefs have lost. They lost opening week to the Lions.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Detroit Lions are going to the Super Bowl, baby.
Could be. Put some money on it now because I bet the odds are pretty good.
Yeah, but they'll fuck it up, mate. It's Detroit. This like the Bears getting a win. Everybody's like, we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. No, you're not. I guarantee you not.
No, I don't think anyone thinks that. But anyway, Sports by Compian has done some vague coverage here of sports. We've talked about CARFU, World Cup Rugby. You should continue to like and subscribe our content because we get handsome guests like George who come on and dedicate their lovely time to talking to people about important impact sports. And if you're not subscribed, you might miss an episode, and that'd be tragic. Wouldn't it be tragic, George?
Yes, sir. Don't be a dick. Subscribe.
Yep, do it. Anyway, Sports by Compian.